shift the gears with DD Speed Shop. We're back again with tales from the garage where the hot rods reign. Dan and Murr, they're the wrench-turning crew with Denny by their side. The podcast begins. They're talking classic hot rods and new cars too. Life hacks and lifestyle and a little YouTube. It's DD Speed Shop, the podcast.
Dan here, DD Speed Shop. So we're on the road today. I came by to drop off some seats.
And have Eggs Benedict.
The Eggs Benedict was an important part. So Murr, let's just go ahead and tell the people. I, as the number one son, gave you a gull-wing supercar.
Yes.
And this is how you're treating it?
I gave you life.
like, look at this. This is.
I know.
We at least put a bucket on the top.
It was. I uncovered this. I had that piece of wood strapped over it and stuff. No, this is.
That's Canadian plywood, yeah.
Yes.
So
Canadian.
you know it's waterproof.
So you know it's good stuff, yeah.
So we were just here kind of screwing around. We thought we would start the episode here because Murr's been doing a retirement amount of work. We're talking this camera.
Camera
sorry.
one.
Oh,
Camera
okay.
two.
I see. Okay.
So, anyways, I had purchased a couple of these seats. We'll show that or whatever. The brown seats, the original Bricklin one, which is rotten out. It only came with one seat, and then the other two I got from a swap meet or something. And Murr came over. We did a quick tape measure, and he determined he can cut them and make them fit. So that was fine. I'm dropping that off. And this thing now. So we went like maybe 2-3 weeks ago to a guy's place who had a bunch of Bricklins, and he recommended. So here I was saying we shouldn't paint this thing, but some guy you don't know says I wouldn't paint it. I just pressure wash it. So what's Murr do? Listens to the other guy. So,
I still might paint it.
So, but look how nice this thing looks. I mean, I don't know how it's going to show up in camera. Well, this is the nice side.
Yeah.
But
it's
it
like
looks,
plywood. Good one side only.
It's definitely whatever. But I think it looks. And then we still polish it, but it'll have cracks clearly. But I guess what happens is all those cracks, they absorb so much dirt, crap,
yeah.
And then it just looks awful. It makes the car look dirty and wore out, when it's actually not as awful as you might think. It's 6 out of 10 awful, not 8 out of 10 awful.
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
But, so Murr's been diligently working, and he's at the point now where the whole front dress is off the thing, basically. Well, you can tell him, Murr, it's your car.
Yeah, well,
here.
it just that things didn't line up, and as I got onto this more, it sounds like the nice Bricklin folks have scrounged stuff from every nook and cranny. The power steering was never hooked up, and I've been trying to look at the different things according to what might be on there. And the power steering pump appears to be from something like a 62 to 65 Thunderbird, even though the car is a 75. So who knows? I think they must have got anything that they could find. And I've run into some fellow now through a friend of a friend who's a Ford guru. So we're going out on a field trip this afternoon to get the appropriate matching alternator and water pump and belts and brackets, which is the main thing. Because this was a conglomeration of parts, none of which works. But
so we're back to a combination of Tavares and Vice Grip screwed you personally.
Personally.
Headline, title of the video.
Yes.
I was screwed by...
But it does, as they said in the video, this bracket for the alternator, I couldn't figure out, it sort of must fit something, but it's an OMC, a boat part on it. So that's why the alternator is at a bit of an angle and wouldn't line up. So
you were saying like...
You can fix that
the crank...
goes out.
So the crank pulley was a 3-bolt one that was drilled out to be a 4-bolt.
Into a 4-bolt one.
So the issue is, let's talk Chevy for a second here. It would be like trying to have a short water pump and a long water pump set up on the same car. Clearly more hassle than it's worth versus if you just buy all the same stuff.
Where would that go in here?
Well,
on the front. Well, the things are over here.
Down there. So it's just like, we were just doing that Nomad. So your bottom, you can't adjust the crank. It's basically where it's going to be, and then you put a pulley on it, which will set where the belt is. Then everything else has to match that forward and back. And it's one of those things where if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
There's the pulley. This is the bottom pulley. used to have 3 bolts. Now it has a lot because it's on 4.
Honestly, they did a pretty good job drilling it, though.
Yeah. Oh, it fit.
I mean, it looks like a guy did okay.
Yeah. It looks.
So you can, where the rust is, though, that's where it kind of was.
Yeah.
Well, so it was there, and there originally. They must have,
Yeah.
or
so
something.
It probably is some sort of Ford part. I think it's got a number
It
that
says
looks
Ford
like a Ford.
on it.
Yeah.
It has a Ford stamp.
But it's for a 3-bolt crank. This is the water pump pulley, and it's
Which is
also
probably correct, or think?
well, I don't know. It also has the Ford part, but who knows? But when you line them up, instead of lining up like that, they lined up sort of like this. So the outer belt fits on one, the inner belt fits on the other, and so you couldn't put the power steering pump on because there's no pulley space left. So hopefully I will be able to find the correct thing and then put it all together. It's just apparently I'm not a Ford guy at all, but
Well, and that's just, there's someone watching right now. All you need is the entire front setup off of a car. Whether it's short, long, a boat, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It just has to be the same.
Right.
Because we're not going for factory original here, I don't
no,
think.
we're not. We've left factory original on somewhere.
We left that in Florida.
Yeah, but the fellow I talked to, he's through a friend of a friend. He's the guy. He's been doing Ford stuff for 30 years, and he goes, "Oh yeah, you wanted this or you wanted this," and so I said, "Wait a minute, I'm just coming out. I'll bring the stuff, and it should be straightforward. And with a little bit of luck, we might actually have belts on it and some kind of power steering." Which
And ultimately, that's what this thing needs, because mechanically, I mean, it does run and drive.
Yeah.
I mean, whether the alternator charges or not, it's an alternator.
Yeah.
It's a standard thing. And power steering pumps, like, just don't screw up. It'll just
Oh,
work.
yeah.
I mean, worst case, you'll have the 4 and supercharger line.
yeah,
And then once we get that together, it's like front end bits, and this thing could conceivably. Well, your other arch nemesis is David Newburn for not giving us the hood.
yes,
I've texted him twice, so.
and he's ignoring you.
At that point, it's basically he just is a bad friend.
I guess. No, I know. Like, the internet doesn't want me to have my Bricklin.
Oh.
I guess that's what it comes
Is that
down
what
to.
it is? The internet screwing Murr over? Is that how you feel?
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
So that, I mean, really, it looks terrible, but
Yeah, there's not that much to it. I've done a few little things. I got the temperature gauge working, and all that sort of
good.
stuff
That's
works.
important,
Yeah.
Let's hope
and
that.
whatnot. Haven't done too much with the inside yet, but I haven't got a wiring diagram. I have not found one yet, so that's the next magical trick. But I can figure it out. But a wiring diagram would make it nice and make some brackets, because I mean, in deference to somebody, the nylock radiator mounts might need a little bit to be desired.
Well, and then that's the other thing, like you were saying, like this upper rad hose, it's got such a bend in it, it's half kinked off.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is go and make a hose or find one that does whatever.
Yeah.
And all that. I mean, you got to get the front dress on, so you know how much room you have. Then you can mount the radiator and you get an electric fan on it.
Right.
And then you can start finding, okay, I need a hose from a 96 Lincoln Navigator and a 2002 Corvette, and it'll work.
And I'm going to start throwing away all these vacuum lines and all that kind of stuff. And
well, this thing, it had an air pump on it and stuff.
It had an air pump. It had an air conditioning compressor, which I don't think is going to go back on.
No.
Or if I could find the pieces, they have a much smaller air conditioning compressor that would fit on a Sandon, so it'll be fine. If we, air conditioning might be a little bit gilding the lily with this thing.
It's got 2 windows.
It's got 2 windows, yeah.
So it needs to be like D70 smogged.
Right.
And just take all that junk off.
Yeah.
I told you, I don't know where you're at, but I think we should buy like aluminum intake manifold and put a 4-barrel carburetor and all that on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure, after we've driven around the blocks and get it to working, but that should be fine.
A set of Cobra valve covers and aluminum intake and a 4-barrel carburetor, paint everything blue.
One of us has a set of Cobra valve covers. They're for 289. Yeah, so I don't know if they'll fit on this.
I think it's the same.
It looks similar.
Aren't
anyway.
289, 302, and 351 is the same?
I think so, but I don't know.
Let's just say that's fact, and the internet will correct us.
By the time
that
this
is how
comes
you
out,
do research online. You do whatever you want, and then the internet corrects you after.
That's right. But yeah,
but really, I mean, that's that. So once you get that going, the only other hiccup is I just gotta round up Newburn to drop a hood off at UPS and pay the exceptional shipping rates.
Oh yes, I'm sure it'll be a very expensive little piece of fiberglass to get up to the border, but
then once it's on, it's there.
Yeah.
And then it does think, like when we looked at that guy's Bricklin, I thought this thing was hodgepodge a little bit with the miscellaneous trim and everything.
Yeah.
I think it was right.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
this thing is, it's had I don't think it's had a lot of miles, but it just sat.
Yeah.
Sat and sat and sat.
Yeah. It's missing the front emblem, so that'll have to check. But what I'd like to do actually is
I'll
just
make you something. We'll 3D print something.
DDSS.
Yeah.
We
Someone will
could
get
do
on
that
that.
actually, but
Well, a guy who does that actually
Yeah.
asked if we want anything 3D printed. We can make whatever we want. Keith. There you
Keith
go.
rule.
Danny remembers.
well, we have an emblem here. What I was going to do is take the picture. That's what the emblem looks like, but have it made into like a vinyl decal, American, and then you'd stick it right there. That's like the new Porsches, lightweight. Instead of having an
right.
emblem, they have a
Well, it's a
sticker because
supercar.
it saves 1/8 of an ounce and needs all the help it's going to get.
Oh, Murray, you're so simple. You want to show us now the interior panels?
Yeah,
Can
well,
you
I'll
walk in
just show
with
you
us, or you wanna-
the trunk first.
Oh, the truck. Sorry.
Hey, that's just.
Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself here. I feel like
no.
I've seen enough of this thing.
Yeah, so I got some struts so it stays up by itself.
Oh, where'd you get those from?
Cleaned out the
Garage
scrounge. No scrounge.
Scrounge.
From the warehouse in the garage. So it actually looks pretty complete. Everything goes together. You can see now how it would have had a lock
like
cylinder,
yeah.
but it's just a lock cylinder of any kind of a
Like a GM?
trunk. Yeah, like anything. So
Oh, so
that
this has like a pull
and-
down.
Yeah, like the cable is off because they had to
Yeah,
take it off to
yeah,
get
yeah.
the door panels off, but that works. So that's straightforward. Put that all together. Has the antenna that comes up through this little hole here. So I have one of those in stock. I can put that in.
Of course you do.
Even a power one if I decide to go whole hog. So that all will work. So it looks like I cleaned off a lot of this stuff. Now I think putting the weather strip on will make a difference because it doesn't fit very well right up at the front. But
that'll space it up. And
that'll
kinda force
space it up
down.
and make it. Yeah. So I think
Well,
that
those
should,
brackets, like the one I had to take apart, weld, and put back together, so it may not be
Exact.
as stamped.
Yeah, I found a couple of shims at the bottom, so little adjustments can be made. But
Look at the no trunk floor rust though, eh?
no, I know.
What
Yeah,
a concept.
yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Well, it's got little dates. 3/13/75. You see that? When
No.
that was.
Oh no, I didn't see that. Look at that.
That's kind of neat.
Ooh, wow.
3/13. So that was January, February, March
Ooh.
of 75. Wow. And it is a 75, so it wasn't like it was built early.
Yeah. It's got the cover. It has a hinge now
trap door.
that works and everything like that. So that can go
You know,
back together.
Retirement, eh?
Retirement, yes. I
How will we
work
retire
very
again?
slow, but I don't charge very much.
Very well. Yeah, that's. And it's got Pantera taillights.
Yes, it should actually all go together.
It's people give us a hard time. It's a good car.
It'll be
I always
fun.
think everything's a good car, but it's a
Yeah.
good car that was absolutely neglected.
Yeah.
And kinda
I'd love to
forgotten
know
about.
the story, but I don't want to know such that somebody's
don't.
going to come and sue us from California.
You don't want the story. It's fine.
Yeah. So yeah. Well,
Wow, I actually didn't realize how textured.
oh yeah, some of
Like
it.
a lot of this was really filled in with grime, eh?
Yeah.
Because the car was, smooth, but lots of cracks. But now it has less cracks, but more golf ball effect.
Yes.
I've
that's
heard
right.
this is good for aerodynamics.
Uh-huh. And this does work. Like it's, I polished the camera, I'm sure won't show this,
Yeah.
but this little bit I polished just to see if it would come up, and it feels smooth, and it is, if it was sunny, you'd see it has a little bit of shine, and that's with sort of 5 minutes just because I wanted to see what it looked like. So
I think that would,
we'll see.
it looks way more presentable.
Yeah.
I mean, if you, once you get the front end going, like all the front dress, put a hood on it, quick polish, I think it'd be very drivable. Mechanically go through it, and then it's fiberglass. Nothing can be,
Yeah, from
everything can be fixed.
our little field trip, we went out there and I got the interchange stuff, and I looked up a few of it on Rock Auto, and the stuff seems to be all very available, like
Yeah.
ball joints, tie rods, wheel cylinders, all that sort of stuff.
Well, that's the
So-
next step. So once you get the front end on, and we just have terrible weather, but if we can pull it in the garage here, we're going to pull the front end apart, just see, because there's different options of stuff.
Yeah.
And see what it needs, order the front end kit, whatever it needs from Rock Auto, and then we might bring it to my place. I'll yard the front end apart, clean it, paint it, you know,
it
ball
back
joints,
together.
tie rods, put it back together.
Yeah.
Then I'll have a whole rebuilt front end. We got to go through rear brakes because they're not working. So
Yeah.
it's probably wheel cylinders or something or
Yeah.
whatever.
It won't be much. It won't be much.
And
A
then
very simple thing. Like really, it's a gremlin underneath the fancy skin. So
Yeah.
there you go.
no, but it really shouldn't need a whole lot. I mean, mechanically, the no rust.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a mechanic's car at
Yeah.
this point. It needs all the little stuff taken apart, cleaned, put
Yeah.
back together. Like this is perfect for you.
Yeah. Unless I'm shocked when I get underneath it, it's going to be simply unbolt, rebolt,
Yeah. Well, I
drive.
think it should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to re-rig and do in there? You want to do it all one motion?
I'll just follow you guys.
Well, I'm impressed. You do good work, Bern. Oh, is this the piece here?
Yeah, that's a couple of them there. That is by far
What are
the.
we looking at? though?
This is the inner structure of the Bricklin. Oh, are you still? Is the camera on or not?
Yeah.
Oh,
everything's
okay.
There's a camera.
This is the inside thing, and they all come off like this. And this was in about 6 million pieces, so it was just flopping all over. So I've
So did you wire tie this all together?
Yeah, well, you just got to wire tie it together, then fiberglass it, then cut the wire tie off, and it'll look like
So
this.
this was all busted and broke.
But in a million pieces.
Really,
This
eh?
one was really bad, and because it's just like it's like trying to put an eggshell together. Like you can find one piece, grip it in place, fiberglass it, wait till it hardens, then you can take the next one to that. So I've spent.
What was on the outside of this? Did it have some sort of
Yeah, that's over here. Here's here's-
like you
but-
unskinned it.
Yeah.
So you really went for it.
Well, it just comes off very easily. This is.
It wasn't just fine as it was.
No, that's that is the thing, and it all just will go together.
Just glue the edges, wrap it around.
Yeah, get some glue, and I'm going to repaint it because the color is just dreadful.
It is a pretty ugly color.
It is a very ugly color, but
Actually, looks in good shape. It's not all
no, it's
weather
it's in decent
which
shape.
is shocking considering the whole car is.
Yeah, I painted one little bit of it just to see if the paint would look. I guess it's tucked away, but anyway, found some non-offensive brown, so that's what that's going to
You're
be.
gonna keep it brown, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it brown. And then, yeah, this just wraps over with some glue. And this is the structure of the underneath of it. It's like now it's like solid, whereas this was just
Yeah.
broken in so many pieces. It's pieced together like a jigsaw puzzle, but now it's fine. And once it's covered, you'll never see it again. And I don't know why it would break, but
I think it had a hard life.
I think it did.
And then we got these seats. You already showed the seats or what? Look at that Nomad though. God, it looks good. I changed starter on this thing today.
Did you? Did you leave the shims out as per normal?
Yeah. So we can take these off? Do I have to unload them too, or can you do a little bit of work? Huh? No, just me. There we go. I have to unhook this.
Where have you got it?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever I did there, that side. To come through.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. Can you lift with your legs? Watch the paint. Oh, jeez, Mer.
I wouldn't
Wow.
want to scratch the scratches.
Scratch the scratches, he says. There we go.
That's
So the
too
plan.
bad. This one was in decent shape. I wonder what happened to the other one.
Party.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the stuff that happened in this car?
Well, and it's only, I mean, it's out of a Hornet or something like that. Just unfortunately, I looked at the local AMC site around here. Nobody seems to have anything too obvious, but
Nothing in stock.
nothing in stock. But
But if you just cut the feet off of this, you should
Yeah.
be able to have yourself.
yeah,
And these seats are actually in nice shape.
my standards are sufficiently low.
But the put a tape on them. These ones are a little wider. Is that what they were? Or are they the
They're a
same?
little, yeah, they're a little bit wider. So we'll have to see what.
Oh, not by much though.
No.
Maybe an inch. And then
No, it was-
height-wise,
Yeah, the
seat
height
itself
the
is
height is
fine.
about the same.
it's
Yeah.
just the brackets. But
Well, we'll
hopefully
see.
you can cut and modify those.
Yeah.
drop them down or whatever. And
Yeah.
I actually have, because of I'm an idiot. When I ordered those Camaro seats, I ordered tracks with them.
Yeah.
Well, they came with tracks, so I have a whole other set of tracks.
Oh.
And they're
Do they bolt on?
they're bolt on, they're dead flat, and they have 2 little kick downs that are adjustable.
Oh.
So you
okay.
could probably
just unbolt these things and
you
bolt
might have to
them
drill
on.
new holes in the tracks. They're meant for those seats.
Yeah.
But I think they have might need some like button head bolts so it doesn't interfere with the
Right.
track.
Oh.
And then you can weld some angle on it, assuming they're the right length and
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah.
I
Huh.
don't know where I put those, but I'll grab them if I can find them and drop those off too. I should have done that today. Yeah.
Wow. That's good.
So there you go. Update on merged Bricklin,
Yeah.
and we'll see you at our place in the garage. We'll.
Oh, I've got. Oh, do you want to do that?
You want to do a tool thing here?
Yeah. Do you want to do the tool?
Tool
thing?
here or at the other place, Danielle?
Doesn't matter.
Let's do the tool here, Mer.
Okay.
We got you set up.
You got me set up. Well, not a lot of a setup involved, but
Look at that nice towel.
okay. People.
Oh,
Danielle,
this is a good one actually.
Danielle says that people liked the tool time segment.
So, unlike the battery, don't put your finger anywhere near this because it will.
Oh yes, this
Could hurt.
yeah. This is a hose cutter.
So that's your can.
This is this is a hose cutter, and this is actually a really nice one I've had for many years. It's a genuine Weatherhead one, but you can buy an
Did
Amazon.
you buy it from the Weatherhead store?
I bought it from Ackland's,
Oh.
but the Ackland's garage sale.
Oh,
so
there
it's
you go. There it is. There it is.
anyway, but it's razor sharp, and I've had it for 25 plus years. And if you have to cut tubing of any kind, like for sure everybody can just grab the side cutters and cut it like everybody does, or maybe some tin snips, if
I
you're
feel
into it.
attacked in this.
Yeah, not naming any names.
I feel
but,
attacked.
But this
Sorry.
works so nice because it gives you a nice sharp edge. So if you're putting on anything, any kind of a fitting, and you want to make sure that it goes
You
on
guys
flush.
just keep moving out of the frame. So
Where are we moving?
Just stop.
The problem
moving.
is we're out in the elements and there's no walls to hold us in. We're allowed to free range
Just
here.
stay right where you are.
Okay. Okay, get on either side of the Mercedes, then we won't move. Huh?
Stay
Oh.
right there.
Cut the hose, Mark.
Cut the hose. Okay. So what this thing does, it's got a razor sharp thing there. So if you kept doing this, it would definitely cut your finger off. So we don't want to do that. But what it does is gives you a nice sharp cut very easily.
Oh, that is sharp. It didn't
And
even
it's,
fold.
and it's just like this. So if you're putting it on a fitting, it goes on nice and square.
It looks nicer.
You don't need it all the time, but it's one of those things for $20. It just works nice.
For the professional.
For the professional, for the rank amateur.
Yeah.
But it does work really nice. So
I use a Leatherman. I have
You-
actually I have the same tool right here.
yes, it's a
Serrated edge.
serrated edge. Well, yeah, and you could do it that way, or you could do it the right way.
I've done
it's
it
up,
that way.
It's up to you.
And it made it all the way to Georgia and back.
So there you go.
Okay, we'll see you at Studio B.
Studio B, yes. So much for our off-site.
Off the hair and makeup real quick.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're back. We're back home. I feel so much at home here.
I know.
So a shiny thing in the garage. This doesn't happen too often. So we're on the pursuit of selling more and more things. This is kind of next on the docket. I brought it home just yesterday, and we gave it a bath, and that's about it. I'm going to I lubricate I want to change where the throttle cable is, and the clutch stuff was kind of tight, but otherwise it's fine. I have a different seat for it. We're going to put that in there, or at least have it with it. And she's going up for sale. So if you do happen to want it, people are getting so mad if I'm selling stuff and not talking about it or giving people the heads up. I think I'm gonna try and ask 38 grand Canadian.
Yeah.
I don't think that's crazy. That is the cheapest Cobra kit car across Canada.
Yeah. It
And
runs good. I've driven it. I know it runs good.
It runs good, mechanically sound.
Yeah.
It's got 17,000 miles on it. Yeah, I mean, I went through it years ago and just been enjoying it kind of more and more sparingly ever since. And it got to the point where it's sad to see it go, but it costs more in storage fees than whatever. So it's Canadian dollars. We are in Canada. If you want it, figure out the shipping and all that sort of stuff. But I actually think this is a deal.
Yeah,
Like,
you should tell them the actual name of it. Like it's
a Canadian.
I thought you remember. I know it has a giant binder of everything since it was a little baby kit
Cobra
car.
International.
Cobra International.
That's what it was. It's Cobra International. This is one. I mean, there's many Cobra kits that people were building and then all went defunct. And this is one of them. And this is one that there was a big lawsuit on, and a lot of people lost money. Gave them money and didn't get it paid. It was a Canadian car, Canadian company, and I've had no problems with it. The frame is good. It's a 2x3, I think, or 2x4 square tube chassis. It's been good. And like I said, the guy who built it, it's got a binder. Every part he bought is 3-hole punched and anything. Like it's
good. Amazing because when you were looking for this, I was looking at Cobras for you and emailing you one, and this one popped up, and it happened to be in Toronto when you were there on business, which is just amazing that it came up the same weekend you were there.
Well, and that's the thing, it's hard. I mean, again, a lot of viewers are American, but it's hard to find these in Canada, especially Western Canada.
You can't import them from the States to Canada.
Unless they're 25 years old.
Well, I don't think at all. I think ever, unless they're the kit, and you can buy them a piece at a time, and it's got kinds of weird rules. Like you can get the car, but you can't get the suspension, you can't get the drive shaft, you can't get a ball. Like it's silly stuff. It's just like you have to take it up in pieces and then build it again. But that's Canadian rules. So
and this one was another selling feature was it has a legitimate AC VIN number.
Yeah.
So the deal was, when the company was going, it was in the late 90s to early 2000s, they had some sort of deal with AC cars in England, and it actually has an AC VIN plate on it. So,
which is where Carol Shelby got them from initially.
Yes. Which is why when we first started dating and we went to the British car show.
Oh yeah, I had to fight to get in. They wouldn't let me in. I show up and so, but there you go. So those are all selling features for me. For the fact that it's a legitimate VIN number, it's not registered as a 2001 replica, whatever.
Yeah.
It is registered as a 66 and go from there. So that was, I don't know if that makes a difference or not. I just thought it was nice and kind of cool. And it is a kit car, just so no one thinks we're selling a
genuine Shelby,
$7 million Shelby for 40 grand. But there you go. So that's that. New shirts. Danny wanted me to plug them. So she worked on this one. It's got a little Chevy too. Can we zoom in? You want me to walk over there? What we got going on? So,
open your sweater.
ddSpeedShop.ca. Well, I don't want to show too much. ddSpeedShop.ca. And Mur's wearing, let him see it, Mur. He's got the.
So that's actually the only one available. We don't know if people want that one.
This is a prototype. Oh my.
If people want that one, tell me and we can put it in the store.
My zipper's bugger. It's a genuine YKK zipper.
Really?
But anyway,
the one Mur's wearing is in the store.
There you go. Danny will put a picture up in the ad to the video and all that. But there you go. Buy a shirt and support us working on this junk. So completely 180 from a nice car is this. And this car, I kind of addressed it a little bit in the last video. I've been getting a little bit of flack on this thing. Because I'm putting it together, and I mean, obviously, a little bit of a sneak peek. There's glass in it and stuff like that, which is clearly not the way to restore or build a car. You would not do that, but we're just trying to put it all together. So the way I want to sell it is, here's the car with everything that comes with it bolted to it versus milk crates of who knows what. I think that's better for the end viewer, end user
Yes.
to have the vision of it. A lot of people
selling
can't.
the idea.
I'm not selling a bad car. We're not trying to be greasy flippers here. Everything is being documented, but just you can see what it looks like, and it makes me happy. I know myself. I'll bolt fenders and doors and hoods on and take them off 50 times because I need to see how it looks to stay motivated on it. But people are messaging me going, they think it's worth scrap price. A good title, 68 Camaro, some people. And I mean, it's. I think it's a good car. It's a good builder. Is it ready to for paint? No, but the floors are done. The subframe's been done. The rear pan's done.
Yeah.
Yes, and I mean, this is now. Well, it's probably only been a week, 10 days maybe since I've had it. I've been doing other things, working on the other cars. So in a matter of maybe 5 or 6 good days on this thing, we've got the whole back section welded together, quarters are properly on, the trunk pad's properly on, the drop downs, the tail pan, all that structure wasn't even there. It's all welded.
Well, somebody could complete this with hand tools, basically, in their
yes.
garage. A lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a long way from driving, but
a
you
grinder
don't
and a drill.
need, a guy with a drill and some screwdrivers and stuff can put it together and have a car, like a young person starting or somebody that, perhaps a retired person that just wants to tinker,
So,
Well, this would become like what your Nova is, or it just becomes a driving project.
be a driving project. That's exactly what it's going to be. I mean, it's got a small block in it. It's got the automatic. I'm going to put a drive shaft in it. And there's stuff I'm not going to change. The leaf springs are broken at the front, like where the eyelet is.
Yeah.
It's just a C. So, whatever.
Does it have a big block in it?
No, small block Chevy, a little 350. But I mean,
But springs you can do in your garage. You don't need any special
exactly.
tools.
Well, that's just it. I mean, the problem is, for me, you start spending, so this thing has monoleaf springs on it, which are kind of junky.
Mm-hmm.
So then either you upgrade to a multi-leaf, which then means I have to change the mounting hardware on the diff, I didn't even get a monoleaf. They have those split monos now, which are a fortune.
Yeah.
So it's not worth putting $1,000 in the springs in this thing to then bolt it to the stock 10-bolt rear end.
Yeah. This is a choose your own adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. Somebody can decide what they want to do, and that's one of those things.
The real hiccup I have with this thing is wheels. So it came with these 14-inch slots on it, but it needs tires, so I got to tube them or do whatever. So do I put a nice set of wheels and tires on it? Do I just put the wheels and tires on it for the picture and say the wheels and tires don't come with the car? Like, how much of a pain in the ass do you want to be there? That's where I'm struggling, but we'll get it all together. I don't know if I should primer it or flat black it or...
Well, it should be all one color.
Yeah.
Like primer or something, but it should be one color.
I think the only body work I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this. I'm going to grind this down good. We'll filler that. There's a little bit of work that has to be done down at the quarter. I'll filler that. Otherwise, I'm just going to knock it down. I'm going to use that rust converter on sand it, rust convert it, and then prime it. And then it'll be wavy. It'll be what it's going to be, but when someone looks at it, it'll be like, look, whatever you see is metal directly under it.
And you've got lots of pictures of it showing that this is what it looks metal. So
it's fine.
That's fine, yeah.
It is what it is. So yeah, I got carpet for it. I'm going to put some seats in it. Whatever parts I have, slap it in there and be done with it. So that's...
Well, it's a pretty honest representation of what it is. So
it is what it is, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's like you say, you buy it from somebody, all the stuff is in the boxes, trust me. Sometimes people maybe aren't as trustworthy as one would have hoped.
On the internet?
I know, hard to believe.
So it'll be what it's going to be, and this will be up shortly here in the next couple of weeks. I'd like to see it going down the road now. I have everything else dialed together. So the Cobra is just in here because it's going to go for sale and clean, but I can just back it out. What a concept, having a car that runs and drives.
Yeah, I know.
So I can back it out and then dump it in the other garage or whatever I have to do. And, it's listed. There you go. Let's get set up somewhere else and we'll do an airing of grievances real quick. Okay, so selling cars. I've been selling them a bunch, and I gotta say most people have been pretty cool that I actually have made a deal with. Facebook people. I immediately know why I hate selling cars. So right now I'm selling trying to sell that 57 convertible conglomeration roadster, whatever you want to call it. And it's fine. And it's a good car and stuff like that. And the way I listed it for $9,000 Canadian. And I did the math. That was just what I have in parts. So I'm not trying, people they build something and they're like, I put a $5,000 stereo, I get the $5,000 back.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be that guy, but just quick numbers. I paid $1,000 for that car, and then the floor was $1,000 or $1,200. The frames, it's got a factory convertible frame. I think it was $1,500, and then I rebuilt the front end, so it's got bushings and disc brakes and all that sort of stuff. It has a 400 small block and a Turbo 350, which I think I paid again $1,000 for. It's got an Elbrock carburetor, and then carpet kit. I did buy lower pans and stuff like that. So just real quick, we're at $5,000-6,000.
Yeah.
Just in pieces.
And a ton of labor.
I don't count the labor.
No,
and some things I bought that was very expensive. Like I bought the windshield frame, and I think it was $500 just for the piece, which was a ripoff. But I wanted it to be. I didn't want it to be a roof cut off a car. I wanted it to be.
It looks very close to what a convertible should look like. It just doesn't have a roof to put up. So, and it looks darn nice in the pictures, and even when you're driving down the street, it looks pretty good for what it is. And if you were in a situation where you don't need the roof, and I mean, I gotta say, on my Mercedes convertible, it has a hard top that I store it with, but it comes off in the spring, and it just stays in the garage the whole year. If it's raining, I'm not driving it. It does have a roof, but it's a pain in the ass to put up. And the same thing with that. If you had a place where you could store it, so your garage, so you don't have to worry about the roof, you have a fun summer car to drive around all the time, and it looks darn nice driving down the road.
When I was building that car, I mean, I painted it, make it look nice, but the goal was always to find a wrecked, burnt, crushed
convertible,
and take the bits and pieces off of it. And then
which could still be done.
Well, last year, I think it might even still be still. There was a guy selling a '57 Chevy ragtop roached. I think he wanted $25,000 for it, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I mean, a properly done '57 ragtop is probably close to $100,000, plus minus depending what you do to it. So even if you cheap, like do it DD Speed Shop style, it's still $50,000. That's how I look at it. Mm-hmm. So it's like the Nomad. Like the black Nomad is arguably one of the worst Nomads, driving on the road, but it's not completely wrecked, so what's it worth? Still has a value. And I talked to the guy a little bit, and obviously we're not in the position to do it right now, but I thought, well, if I bought that car for a deal, and I have make one out of two, that's what that car is. Either it needs a wreck, or it's a perfect parts car or something. And anyways, going back to I don't want to try and say, well, this is what I put into it, I want that back out, because that is irrelevant. But for me specifically, knowing I'm going to build another Tri-5 at some point in my life, that floor pan is worth $1,000 to me.
Yeah.
It has rust-free fenders. Well, they are worth $500 for a pair of fenders, because if I sell it, I will for sure be buying them again. There's just no way around it. So it's not worth selling the thing for $5,000, then I got to buy $10,000 worth of parts over the next 2 years.
Right.
I would be further apart to strip that thing down to nothing and scrap the rest.
Yeah. As
shitty as that is to say.
Yeah.
So that's what I don't want to do.
Other than in your situation now, you don't want to have it hanging around. You need to, deal with the parts and stuff like that.
I don't want to have to deal with stuff. I'm trying to clean stuff out, a lot less less responsibility, less storage, less.
Yeah.
So it's not even about the money. I mean, $9,000 isn't making or breaking me. I thought it was a very fair price, but people are either going, it's a scam, because it's a '57 Chevy ragtop for $10,000 or $9,000, which it's not. Or people are going, they don't understand what I'm trying to do or whatever it may be and stuff like that. So it is what it is. That being said, actually today I've got a whole bunch of people who are interested in it, so maybe I'll win. But I gotta say, last night when I put it up, I was like, I think I'm just gonna keep it.
Well, if we were 2,000 miles south, I bet you it would sell in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe just our climate doesn't bode well for not having a convertible top at all.
Yeah.
So
it's a perfect parade car, like a Shriner's car.
Yeah.
It's perfect if you have a real '57 Chevy and you actually want to drive one, go get ice cream with the grandkids, and they can scratch it, and who cares?
A movie car.
Or
car, stuff like that. Yeah.
If you just want to cruise around and do what I did. I wanted a '57 Chevy convertible. I didn't have $100,000, or I don't even know how many they made, but I haven't seen a lot of Tri-5 Chevy convertibles come up for sale. Ever.
No.
So that's one of those things.
It does look darn nice driving along. It really does.
No, mechanically it's sound. I mean, it's got the frame. It's got new rear springs in it. It's got all sorts of new stuff.
Well, finding that frame was like a real fluke, because most people that would make a Roadster don't do that, because it was a ton of work and hard to find and not cheap.
Well, and that's it's hard to explain to people, but I mean, because you just cut the roof off a regular car, it will sag. But that has a proper convertible frame. And actually, I found the frame first. I've always thought about I wanted to build a convertible or a Roadster. And then I knew the guy who he did a Roadster shop chassis, I think it was. And he's like, oh yeah, I got the frame, decided I'd sell it. So I was like, great, all I gotta do is find the car, which Tri-5 Chevy seemed to fall in my lap.
Funny thing.
So I had I bought the car, and I don't know if I bought the frame first or the car first, or it was a dual deal, but...
You got the car first and then hit the guy up for the frame now that you had the car.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
But he had it, so it was nobody. I talked to him and he wasn't listing it, so I wasn't worried about it, I guess. And went and looked at it, bought it, dragged it home, and there you have it. But so there you go. People of the internet, be better. Actually yesterday, after we were at Murr's house, we washed the car. You weren't there. This is a little PSA because I'm still a little angry about it. I'm driving down, so I went down some back roads there and was coming up by the McDonald's there, by the abandoned apartment that's now condemned. So we're going up Whitewall to Portage Avenue. Sunday drive, nothing crazy. And we're going, no one in front of us. There's a truck kind of close behind me. And there was a guy and a girl on a motorcycle, but on one bike. And they had pulled over, stop type thing. And I'm driving, all of a sudden he just U-turns.
Oh.
So I clout the brakes, lock them all up. And he didn't panic, just and then kind of give me like a little head nod. And I was like, wow. Like, I mean, I wasn't going very fast, but it wasn't like it was this close, but it was alarming.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't want to hit a motorcycle. B, if I did hit the motorcycle and he wasn't dead, I'd have killed him.
Yes.
Because I'm in the only car that's kind of nice. So, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, so I said in actually the video we were doing yesterday, like, people are always like, we got to watch for motorcycles and stuff. And I am trying to be pretty, I mean, I don't have a motorcycle, but this is about as close to a motorcycle as it's been. And I don't want to be in an accident in this. So you drive pretty defensively.
Right. And
I'm always looking, whatever. I couldn't believe it. Who does a U-turn without looking? And who does a U-turn in a motorcycle? Like, people, if you're riding a motorcycle, for the love of God, please don't just pull into traffic. Like, it was unbelievable. I was
people, that's why there's accidents. And, the same thing happened to me yesterday. I was driving on the convertible down Ness, a 2-lane road, and there was a person in one lane with a big box truck turning.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I was on the other lane. And somebody pulled out right across traffic because they see the box truck was blocking, but they didn't even slow. They just went. Beep.
Must be fine.
But it'd be fine. Like so.
Well, it's one of those things. Like I get it. I mean, accidents and people make mistakes and this and that. But on a motorcycle, you could die. It's not just like
you can be dead right real easy on a motorcycle
or crippled up, and now I have to deal with that. I'm like, it's kind of a little whatever. Anyways, just please be aware. So, okay, I got those venting out. Now, here's the other thing. It's really going to get me going, Murr. The electric car. We all know we hate the electric car. But, well, actually, I really don't care. But I was reading there that now they're talking about, because the electric car, they're in California and stuff, that because they're not making fuel tax.
Road tax
off fuel, they're talking about now they want to charge the electric cars a per mile fee.
Of
I
course.
love that. So I don't know. In fact, I heard 30 cents a mile.
That seems excessive, but I mean, who knows?
California, everything seems excessive.
I guess. I don't know.
So if that goes through, like, you're not saving anything at that point. You'd think it would cost more.
Yeah.
Or whatever and stuff like that. So.
Well, as it is, if you charge your electric car at home, it's pretty reasonable. But if you charge it away from home, like they always use the you can save this much on taxes. They assume you're charging at home, and here I think we pay 10 cents a kilowatt hour or something. We're one of the cheapest, but it's not that much. But as soon as you go somewhere and start to pay, like they make a lot of money, and each one apparently can be different. Some can be 25 cents a kilowatt, and some can be 50 cents a kilowatt, which is a huge difference, and you don't really know.
I didn't know. So if you charge at a station, you're not paying. It's like a business.
Yes. Those little boxes. I mean, I don't know how much a fuel dispenser costs, but I would say maybe must be $10,000 or $15,000 at least.
Yeah.
And then the tank in the ground and stuff. Well, those units that charge cars, they're like $300,000 and per charging thing. And
no way. So when you see like there's 10, like a bank of 10 Tesla chargers.
Well, Tesla I think is different because they're proprietary. They have their own. I don't know how much those are.
So you go to the wherever and you see like 3 or 4 of those in a row.
Yeah.
That's like $1.5 million worth of charging.
Yeah, I mean maybe you get a better deal if you buy 5, but that's not even the real expensive thing. The real expensive thing is those draw a tremendous amount of current.
Yeah.
So you have to get power to it from somewhere, and a lot of power. So that means where does it come from? Well, it has to come from those big overhead lines or a substation. So it depends where you are. So we're not talking about running a load of 14.2 to charge the thing up. It's to make them work. That's a lot. And that is a limiting factor to a lot of places.
So if you're like in an apartment, you think, oh, I'll get an electric car to be green and save money. Then you're wasting your time charging, you're paying a fortune, now you're going to pay a road tax.
Well, that's the thing that we've found when we spend the winter in British Columbia. It's a great place for electric cars because the climate is mild.
Yeah.
It's a small city, full of old farts like me, so it's easy to drive anywhere you want. And a lot of condos because land is astronomically expensive there.
Yeah.
So condos is what people live in. But when they were built, because it's a nice climate, they don't have a lot of extra power. Like people can't put an air conditioner in their condo because there's a lot of them don't have enough power to support it. So we're talking like a 20 amp circuit, which you'd think would be nothing, but times 30 condos, they involve changing all kinds of stuff. And that's a big problem. And because at one time they didn't worry about it, but climate change, they're getting a lot hotter. The climate's changing.
Old people are just
so many of those condos that you're paying $1 million for, you can't plug in an air conditioner.
So what are you doing for electric cars? You got to
go to a charging place. Many of them don't have it. Or some of them, the new ones, they always have one or two built in. And depending on what it is, some of them, it's nothing to put in when you build the thing. But
retrofitting old stuff
is expensive because it might involve a whole lot of different changes. And that's pretty pricey. And their solution is many of the new condos, they have one of those car services. You rent by the day, week, month type of thing per the condo. So you just book Tuesday at 2:00, I'm getting this to go grocery shopping.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's what it is. But to have a charging thing for your car, you have to convince the other 30 people in the condo that they're gonna have to pay extra money, and it is substantial.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing. So things that people don't think about, and the whole deal that they can charge different amounts astounded me. Like in Canada, just recently it changed where they can but don't have to monitor per kilowatt hour how much usage.
I thought we paid more for power during the day than at night.
In Manitoba, I don't believe we do.
I thought when they tell us our number, it's an average. So 9 to 5. It costs you more money to run something than if you charge a car overnight, for instance.
I don't think so, but I don't know for sure.
You know what, though? We're on a podcast. We can talk about it.
We can tell, yeah. But some places
places
are like that. Europe is definitely like that because friends of ours, they were in the military, so they were stationed in Germany, and they got there, and the military families all take care of one another because they're all, shuffled all over the world. And my friend was over at these new people. He said, "I'll invite the new people over for dinner." So they came over and they were having dinner, and the woman looked and said, "Do you have the dryer on?" And she said, "Yes." She said, "It's not 11 o'clock yet." So apparently the fees more than double. So everybody does dryers and overnight. And their dryers have a timer. Like when we have our coffee maker, set the coffee maker to come on. You can set your dryer to come on.
Click on late at night.
That's right. And it's a huge difference. So a lot of places in the world are like that. And I think I've heard talk of them doing it. I don't think they are now.
It's coming.
But it's coming. Well, it's one of those things.
There's a way they can make a buck for doing it.
That's my personal airing of grievances. Things that you can charge money for that cost you nothing, but cost the end consumer that.
Yeah.
And my friend that used to run Dairy Queens in the States, he said they have surge pricing. So he said, you don't just go into the restaurant at 7 o'clock in the morning and flip on the grill and the coffee maker and all that sort of stuff.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. He says you go in there, flip on the deep fryer and do something else, and you flip on something else. So it doesn't have all of a sudden 0 to
whatever
all at once. So
Wendy's, I think they're getting a little bit of backlash there. They want to start charging you more money for your burger at noon than they do
at... They canceled that because of the backlash.
Well, that is how you get
it. was announced, and then literally 12 hours later, they axed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would never. That just...
I can see your eyebrows started vibrating.
Oh, that's right up with charging to sit beside your wife on the airplane and all these other things. Yeah, let's come up with that. Oh, are you hungry at lunch? Oh, well, if you'd like to eat your lunch at 10:30, hey, your Big Mac's only $5.
Well, that's
Well,
just
what's funny
greasy.
about that too, though, is like in a lot of places, the mindset of like a lunch hour is still at noon.
Yeah.
Noon is lunch hour. Where for a lot of younger generations, lunch hour can be 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. But if
Well,
you're
because they're not waking up till 11.
if you're
Yeah.
working somewhere where it's noon o'clock is your lunch hour, then you'll never have a chance to like, if they were to go through with that plan, to like buy the cheaper lunch option
Well,
because your employment is forcing you to go at noon.
And see, the thing with that, I know it drives you crazy to a whole other level. For me, it's not even about the money. It's just the fact that that's how they're treating the consumer.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's what drives you nuts. We're back. So we had a slight battery issue, cameras. Anyways, let's stoke fire again. Surge pricing for your burger
Burger,
at
yeah.
lunch. Remember how bad you were 3 minutes ago? We need that action again. We need it back.
Yes, I do have a bit of a thing about being charged for no reason, and that seems to be one of them.
So you're mad at Vice Grip Garage,
Huh?
Tavares,
Yeah,
Elon Musk,
just cause, why not?
and now Wendy's Incorporated.
Yeah. And anybody else.
They're going to feel the wrath of Burr and his pension plan. They're not getting it.
Us seniors, it's the principle of the thing.
Oh,
If we can afford the extra dollar.
it drives me nuts. People that, I don't know. I always try to be honest when you sell stuff and be fair and all those things. And some, I mean, no matter what, I could ask $10,000 for this car and someone's going to be, oh, it's too expensive. You're a hack.
It's not a real Cobra.
Yeah, exactly.
I want a real Cobra for 10 grand.
So it's just, you just try and be a good person as best as you can, and I think it'll work out. And I mean, stuff like that. So, like when they put something out and it comes right back, I gotta wonder if a few marketing people got they're working at Burger King now or something.
I mean, I guess they just want to see if they can get away with it. Hey, maybe somebody be dumb enough to do that. But I think the public does have a little more awareness of things like that now than they used to.
Yeah,
and hey, just sort of, who knows? Well, I know I could rant. You want to rant at McDonald's? I'll tell you a rant at McDonald's because they don't care. We got enough battery. We got enough space in the cart.
We only got 20 minutes of film left.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll try. Okay, here's the deal. So, Mom and I are out. This is last year. We were coming back from sailing.
Last year,
Yeah.
there's a grudge to be held.
It is. Let me tell you. And I mean, because one of my things I like, and I know you can't stand it, is the coupon. Well, you don't have coupons because the nice McDonald's folks, I guess if you're rural, they'll send you a coupon. I tried to sign up for coupons. No, you can't do that. You have to use their app. So, okay, that's fine. So Mom and I are out. We're feeling a little peckish. It's lunchtime. Let's go and have a Big Mac. Okay, what's on there? Oh, they have Big Mac meals on sale for like, I don't know, whatever it was, $7 or $8. Great. Okay, well, we want 2. Oh no, you can only have 1, right? So you have to pay full time. Well, that's no good. I know a way around this. I'm going to come up with my app. And Mom is going to go and order one on her app. So we've beat the system. So we go in there. Wait a minute. My app says it's $6.99. Mom's app says it's $7.99. Same thing, same coupon, same app, same. We're standing side by side. Well, you know me. I can't roll over for the dollar. It's the principle of the thing. So we'll straighten out the McDonald's people. We won't go into the drive-thru. We'll pull into the parking lot. We'll go in there and we'll speak to the nice manager person who apparently is 14. But other than that, so I said, here's the deal. We want our 2 Big Macs, but these are 2 different prices. Make it so. I'm sorry, we can't do that. Well, you're here. Here's the thing. We're right here. No, can't do that. If you'd like, you can complain to McDonald's corporate, this and that. So, okay, so we just sucked it up. We spent the $1. We got the thing, but boy, I'm going to get the old keyboard. We're going to phone McDonald's. And you know what happened, of course, right?
Nothing.
No.
Did they get back to you?
They said, terribly sorry. Please accept these 2,000 points of something for that, which means nothing, not a single thing. So, I'm sorry. It's the principle of the thing. It's just, how can that be? It's like, because if you said, you're a blonde-haired fella, you get your Big Mac $1 cheaper, and I'm a dark-haired fella.
It sounds to me, though, you weren't absorbing as much of your white privilege as you should have. You should have you got a $1 discount. Mom wasn't overpaying, you were underpaying. How'd you see it that way? You
No, still
you
wrong.
saved $1. That's
still,
what happened.
No, still wrong. still wrong.
Okay, so here's now the last thing that's driving me nuts.
Okay.
I'm not a new car guy. You're a new car guy. And I feel like we're on the verge of Skynet becoming self-aware. So the electric car is its own thing and all that sort of stuff. But now, I guess in Europe already has it, and it's coming into California with speed. The car's beeping at you.
At 10 over the limit.
You're going over the limit. Now, that being said, I'm actually not a big speeder. I don't really believe in a whole lot of that. I like the, beating on the car first, second gear, and then usually I'm kind of done with it at that point. But I digress. But that to me feels like that's step one of the car printing out a ticket out of the radio, and there's an officer going, no. Like that's where we're going.
We don't have to get you on radar. You've done it yourself with the GPS.
Yeah. So you think, oh, that's a little annoying. You can turn it off and stuff, but of course you probably got to turn it off every time you start the car. It doesn't stay on there, and then that leads into a whole other. Obviously they know exactly what that car is doing, where it's going, and all that sort of stuff. So are they going to be able to change your insurance, change your whatever it may be, because they know you're a high risk individual?
Yeah, it's not good. The electronics can do wonderful things, but they can also just screw you right over, just cranks you right up.
Well, but I mean, what is the rule there? Like, you are doing something stupid, but there's not a cop there to catch you. Does that mean it's not illegal? Like, that's the...
If the tree falls in the forest, yes, I know.
What do you do there? So, at the end of the day, if you're out there ripping through the Arizona whatever, and you're going 200 miles an hour, should you be held, if nothing happened, should you be held accountable, or should you get away with it?
You see, I'm of the... I don't think so.
Well, I'm with you, but I'm also
in Canada, we have a province called Saskatchewan, which is like Montana of the U.S. Like, it's miles and miles of miles and miles. And whenever we go to the West Coast, we have to spend 5 or 6 hours driving across Saskatchewan, where if the speed limit was something like, 200 kilometers, it would be fine.
Yeah.
I'd sacrifice the 2 hours. It's the other 2 hours. So.
But I heard they get deals on Big Macs there.
That was where I got my speeding ticket when we were going 2 miles of mayhem or something.
You got a speeding ticket?
Yeah, I was driving the truck because he wanted to sleep. And then a couple weeks later in the mail, he went, "What's this?"
I don't remember that at all.
Well, we are lucky because there's some places in Europe, I think Switzerland is one of them, and England, I think, is one, and they have white posts every, whatever thing, and you don't know which one. In Canada here, when we have a photo radar, they do have to put a sign up that says it's photo radar, or the speed limit may be enforced, it's something like that. And they do have, when they do it with aircraft on the highway, it says, I don't know if that's Alberta or BC, but they have speed limit enforced by airplane or something. They've got a line on the road, and somebody supposedly flies over and counts you. It's still on the road. I don't know if they do that or not.
In the city, I'm not all for the speeding. I think that's where you get into trouble. I mean, there's sometimes you can go a little faster, but at the end of the day, I don't know what the studies are. If you speed drive like an asshole to get to the end destination versus just follow the rules, it's like a minute.
Yeah.
It's when you're on the highway.
Yeah, when it
makes a difference. Like when we're traveling to the States and we're going to Georgia, 10 miles an hour more makes a big difference in your time, how much distance you can travel and where you get to stay and all that. You end up maybe in a nicer town than the greasy hotel where you're going to get robbed from. But so, but I just think that's they have too much information now.
Too much, and some of it is really, really good. And what eventually they're going to come up with is car-to-car communication, which means I don't even have to see your brake lights. My car will say, "Oh, this guy ahead of me is stopping," or "The guy 5 ahead of me is stopping," which is
avoid a lot of stupid stuff.
That's right. The problem is they're just arguing about, a standard. Which standard are we going to use? Because they do have the technology, and that's a really good use of technology, and nobody could, I don't think, anything bad to come with that. But tied in with that is how fast is your car going? Do you have your foot on the brake? All that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
It seems like, I mean, if you want to buy a sports car, this is the year to buy one.
Yeah.
Because every year going forward, it's going to get more and more rules and event. I mean, I'm sure there'll be ways to hack them and do all that stuff they'll do. But
some of it is pretty difficult. Like a lot of the computers now are really hard to change, to chip and stuff like that. It's quite a problem. So I don't know. There's not a good situation. But
well, buy old cars.
That is the best thing to do. Yeah.
You know what I worry about? Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What are they gonna do with this?
Remember when it used to be like you worry driving your red sports car because a cop would be more noticeable.
Yes.
Well, now you could have your 4-door gray Mercedes sedan that's incognito as all hell, and it's going, I know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
And the nice insurance man might just knock on your door or decide not to insure your car all of a sudden because they have that. And that we brought up a little bit. Whose information is that?
Yeah.
Like, is that yours as the consumer? Like, it's your car.
Yeah.
So you own everything in it, but now that information, if it could be used against you, what is the rule there? That's a tricky one.
That is a very tricky one because but people say, I mean, it's like being drunk driving. If you choose to drink and drive, you're giving up your rights to that. And so people say, well, if you're speeding, then you've given up your right to privacy. Well, I don't know if that really follows.
Different.
That's a little, so
I guess I see it like when it comes to drunk driving, I hate that. So I understand it on that side.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I mean, I guess on speeding it is kind of the same. If you're going faster than the safe limit they've determined, you cause an accident. Should you be charged the same as drunk driving? I honestly see it. Yeah, that's not a bad argument for me.
No. I would agree with if you have an accident and you try and scam them. Say, well, I wasn't speeding and I had my foot on the brake. I was trying to stop and it was skidding, and the computer said, no, you were actually driving 15 miles an hour fast. The brake was not on. The throttle was at 40%. The speed was this. No. Then you are in fact lying.
But like, where does that end though? I mean, like, so if you get into an accident, like, let's say you were going 30 miles an hour over the speed limit and cause an accident. Yeah. Are you still insured or are you not? Like,
I don't know.
Do they cover stupidity?
If I was the guy doing it, I wouldn't be happy. If I was the guy that got hit by the guy doing it, I'd be darn happy.
Well, that's just it, right? What if you're the family of a person that gets killed? Like, you want all the data possible to say this person was wrong.
Exactly.
Which I think you should be entitled to if you are suffering from that.
So it sounds like the lesson we're learning here is OBD1 and earlier, and you're safe.
Everybody drive a 57 Chevy.
How about you just drive safe and not like idiots?
No, you're talking to, do you have any men are listening right now? A, we're idiots. B, there's no way we're listening to a woman. So just so we're clear. Anyway, I think that's enough for today. We'll wrap that up. So there you go. Stuff's going.
Yeah, wrap it up. Don't sound a little lighter than that.
That was pretty light. You're forgetting that everyone behind the camera is actually on my side. Physically, you're the only woman watching right now. So there you go. So cars are coming up. Shiny red one going away, but this one I've had for 10 years now. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
So it's time to go. If you want to have it one last time, you better drive it. And honestly, if you want to smack it up, insurance will pay, and I'm out and everything.
Out the door,
It's no big deal. Get this one going, see if that convertible goes, and then I think that 47, we got to pull that out of mothballs, give it a once over. Camaro. I've had people have been offering money on that gray 55 Chevy too, which is a tough one. Kind of want to keep it, but we'll see. I got to, I was telling Danny yesterday actually that I thought it'd be way more sad selling all these cars.
Yeah.
But honestly, I have this like feeling of like this weight off my shoulders because it's like, the first of the month is like storage bill.
Yeah.
Well, I've been cutting those out.
Yeah.
So the monthly storage bill has been almost cut in half.
Yeah.
The insurance, because even though not everything is driving insurance, you have to have like storage insurance or whatever it is, because stuff's sitting wherever. Yeah. Those are all going away. And then you just have that, you want to buy a car, you look at something and all of a sudden it's like, I have 15 projects. Like, I'm at a point right now where we have this Camaro, which is a decent sized project yet, that 56 is still, that two-door conversion is
Yeah.
still kind of in pieces and needs love. That Ford truck is kind of whatever. But honestly, we're almost looking for cars now.
I know.
Like
but-
it went to the point where, I got projects for...
Well, it sneaks up on you, right? You know, like if you're walking along and you put a rock in your pocket, you don't think about it. And I'll be able to get that other rock, and maybe I'll get one more of those rocks. And by the time you've walked a few miles, boy, I'm feeling kind of tired. Well, I got a pocket full of rocks. Well,
Now it needs more rocks, though.
all your rocks are going away.
And I mean, at the point now, like, the blue Nomad is almost dialed. I mean, he's a little bit.
Yeah.
The black Nomad, I mean, same thing. It's pretty good. The Nova now, like the 71, it needs the diff change, but it's pretty good. And then Danny's car, I mean, it needs, again, but running, driving, like, everything is kind of together. Like,
You got nothing to do. We better go to the Prius dealer.
Let's turn my license in instead. But anyways, that's where we're going to leave it. Buy a car, sell a car. You won't feel bad about it. Buy the next one. If you're on Power Tour, enjoy that. We're missing out. This is coming out, I guess, right in the first day of Power Tour. So there you go. Buy a T-shirt. Not this one, but what?
Buy this one.
Yeah, buy that one if you wouldn't mind. dspeechup.ca. Danny's wasting all the money on car parts. We'll probably buy another Tri-5 Chevy, let's be honest. Anyways, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.